You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
Welcome to the PHOD Pod, the Practical Horseman podcast minisode series where we share audio clips from our favorite Practical Horseman On Demand videos. At Practical Horseman On Demand, you can enjoy hundreds of how-to videos and get insider access to exclusive interviews and lectures, slow motion demonstrations, and step-by-step tutorials taught by top-level pros in the hunter, jumper, equitation, and eventing disciplines. Head over to practicalhorsemanondemand.com and use promo code PHODPOD for 15% off when you sign up. That's practicalhorsemanondemand.com and promo code PHODPOD. That's PHOD for 15% off. On this week's episode, natural horsemanship expert Chelsea Canedy demonstrates different ways that she introduces a horse to going through water obstacles. She explains how to encourage the horse's curiosity towards an object and positively reinforces the horse anytime she makes a move toward or in the water. Now, enjoy the clip.
So there's 3 ways that I would introduce obstacles on a course to a horse on a line. One is that I could lead the horse, as I normally do, with me and do the obstacle with them. 2 would be that I would draw the horse to me. That one's tricky because if you're drawing a horse to you over an obstacle, there's always a chance that they're going to leap over that obstacle at you. And you want to really make sure that that situation was set up well and safely if you're going to use a draw. And the third way is that I would drive the horse. So that would mean, like what I was doing on a circle, I would send the horse around and away from me to the thing. And so I think with Georgia, I'm most likely to use leading and driving, not so much drawing. So to my knowledge, Georgia has checked out water once before in her life with another horse to lead her in while being ridden. So we're going to ask Georgia today for the first time to go on a line into water on her own. So we're going to see how that works. The biggest thing, I think, for teaching horses anything about work on the line that they've never seen before, good girl, is to really encourage their curiosity. So Georgia had spent a little time in her warm-up there, working up a small sweat and burning some energy. And so now she's a little thirsty, which actually makes this really easy for her because she has no fear about getting her feet wet, having also the desire to have a drink. So this is wonderful. Good girl. I don't even really have to positively reinforce this because she was happy to have the positive reinforcement of a drink. But I'm going to add my click in there just to say, extra good job, Georgia. Good girl. Good girl. I never introduce anything new like this at speed. I always want my horse to be able to go slowly, take their time, check it out. Good girl, Georgia. Now, if I needed to get my feet wet, I'd be willing to do that. And you have to be ready to do that if you're going to teach a horse about something new like this. Good girl. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a little series of concentric circles down this gentle slope into the water. Good girl. And down the long side of this obstacle. Good job, Georgia. Good girl. If at any point Georgia wanted to pause and hang out in the water and have another drink or paw or play a little bit, I would let her do that within reason. I don't want her messing up the footing underneath or disrupting too much of the standards of the water. But she's really surprising me here. She's venturing way out on her own into the middle of this, and I didn't expect her to want to go more than a couple feet in, so that's pretty stellar. Good girl. Good girl. I'm going to change directions and have her approach it from the other way. Good girl, Georgia. Nice job. So now there, I don't know if you noticed, but she offered to almost trot into the water there. Now, when I'm dealing with a new obstacle like water, new terrain mostly, I'm going to let the horse walk in, but then try to get them to trot out before I get them to trot straight in. That's less intimidating. Good girl. Then trotting right in. Good girl, Georgia. What a nice job. And now that she's had a trot out, look at that. She's brilliant. Good job. Good girl. I'm going to draw her back to me and give her a little positive reinforcement for that excellent effort. Good job, Georgia. I think I'll try that again to the left with the trot work, since she did the trot work to the right so well. Good girl. So again, I'm going to start by trotting her out of the water and then try to trot around back in. A smart cookie. Good. Good girl. And she's allowed to kind of go, good girl, as far out as she wants. Good girl. What a smart girl. Nice job. Nice job.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the PHOD Pod. For unlimited access to more lessons like this, sign up for Practical Horseman On Demand at practicalhorsemanondemand.com and use promo code PHODPOD, that's PHOD, POD, to get 15% off. Thanks again for listening.